Hey there. Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Just Talk, the podcast that allows us to shoot the breeze and talk about different topics and things that may excite and or interest us. I am Obie Jay. I will be your presenter slash host for the evening. And as always, this podcast and others like it are brought to you by the power of five. Like, comment, subscribe, notify, share. Those 5 actions by themselves are powerful, but all together, they're the ultimate in pushing forward our content and giving everybody a better chance at more successful outcomes or a laugh or just information that they may or may not know that was in the past. And now, on to the show. And today's show is called Why Do Good Girls Like Bad Boys? That is a very interesting question. And that is an interesting question. Excuse me. That is an interesting question because it's a valid one. Why do good girls like bad boys? And that's a multifaceted question with a multifaceted answer. The simplest answer is that they like what they like. Your mileage may vary. I don't know. Good girls and bad boys are attracted to each other because bad boys want to deflower good girls. Let's put it that way. And good girls like the uncertainty, the adventure, the suspense that bad boys bring. I've been a good boy. And I can speak from experience when I tell you we don't got it good. At all. I can't tell you how many times I watch girls that I like somebody else. And for the longest time, I never knew why. Ever. I mean, I had my encounters. But the girls that I really wanted, couldn't get them. Couldn't lock them down. And I don't know. I just couldn't. It wasn't until much, much later in life that I finally understood why it was the way it was. And as always, it wasn't kind. It wasn't fair. It wasn't just. But it just was. And you don't have to like it. I didn't like it, but I came to accept it. And being the adaptable creatures that we are, we learn to play the game. Now, there are several points that I'm going to discuss today regarding the good girls and bad boys dynamic. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is women are the gatekeepers to sex. This is not up for debate. You got to pay the toll to ride the pipe. You have to gain entry. You have to pay your fare. And there are several ways to do it. And each way is what it is. You can buy it. You can, when I say buy, I'm talking about showering the prospective woman with gifts. Take her out to eat. Buy her things. Spend money on her. That sort of thing. That's one way. And there are ups and downs to that. The upside is, depending upon the girl, it can get you in there pretty quick. The downside is that she now expects that. And there still is no guarantee. And remember this as we go through these rules and things. There is no guarantee. You can try one of these things. You can try all of these things, and you still may get nothing out of it. Because there is no magic formula. There is no one size fits all. There's no cheat code that'll open the door. People may say there is, but in truth, there isn't. But that's the bad side. You might not get in. She may take the gifts and still ghost you. It is what it is. And guys know this going in. It's a calculated risk. It is a direct type of risk because you're laying it all out. I like you. I'm going to win you over with my loot. And that's one way to do it. Another way you can do it is you can try to finesse your way in. You know, sweet talk. Whisper sweet nothings in her ear. Tell her all those things that she wants to hear. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. There's no one out there like you. You are my sun, my star, my moons, all that stuff. Blah, 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 blah. The pros of that stuff is that it directly massages her ego. The down part of that is that she can see through it. Oh, I know what he wants. And access denied. And as always, there are guys out there who, once they find somebody they really want to be with, they really feel that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the risk that you run when you try to finesse somebody. Another way is, let's see, we tried okay. We tried talking to her, finessing her. We tried buying her. And the third way is just persistence. I'm going to get you. Sooner or later, I'm going to get you. I'm going to hang out by your side, be who you need, and one day you will be mine. Pros and cons of that too. The pros is that through time and patience, you show her you're sincere. The cons is you stay stuck in the friend zone because you're giving her what she wants, and she hasn't give you anything in return. What do I mean by that? Girls crave attention more than anything. That's their drug of choice. And by you doing the persistence route, you're feeding into that. You're giving her time, you're giving her attention, and in some cases, you even give her resources. You mean, oh, you need such and such? Oh, I got that. I got you. Put your wallet down. I got you. And they're getting all that stuff, and they don't have to give you anything. So they're all calculated risks. You roll the dice, you make your move, and you deal with the fallout. But they are the gatekeepers. Men are the gatekeepers to relationships. And as Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit, shout out to Fresh and Fit, likes to say, it is a man's duty to attract a woman, and it is a woman's duty to maintain a man's attention after sex. And a lot of people like to, they like to be wishy-washy about it and want to explain about it and write dissertations and have books and novels, that sort of thing. But it really comes down to that. And again, it's yin and yang together. The man wants sex. The woman wants commitment. In order for a man to have access to sex, he must woo his partner, or in this case, his prospective partner. Excuse me. A woman craves commitment, and it is on her, after the initial attraction, is to maintain that guy with the ultimate goal of being long-term, if not marriage. It's that simple. Okay. One of the reasons that good girls like bad boys is that women are not satisfied with stable, caring men because they are stable and caring. What the? Hold on. I got you. I'll explain to you. Women are not satisfied with stable, caring men because of what they are, stable and caring. That's not exciting. A girl. There's a scenario with two couples. A girl, each consisted with a girl and a guy. A is good girl, bad guy. B is good girl, good boy, good guy. A calls him on the phone. What you doing? I'm out. What you doing up there? I'm taking care of business. I'll get you later. Click. B calls him up. Hey, what you doing? I'm just home relaxing. What you doing? Want me to come around? Now, in an ideal world, guy B wins every time because she knows where he is. Therefore, he cannot be getting into things. But that's not how it goes. Nope, nope, nope. The A guy wins because she doesn't know where he is. She's aroused his curiosity. What's he doing? Where is he? Who's he with? And it makes her want him more. Now, as always, I will stress that this scenario that I painted isn't true for every couple. There are guys out there who attract who they like, and through being faithful and monogamous and other things like that, they stay with them for a very long time. But again, the exception does not make the rule. And you would think that it would, because of something that Pearl said. I was watching her yesterday. Shout out to Just Pearly Things. And she was talking about guys and girls. And her main thrust throughout the entire podcast was all girls. No, it's not. Wait, no. It was. It's not that they do it, but they can. They don't do it, but they're capable of it. And for the purposes of our discussion, the good guy, he could do it. He's hardwired to do it. And in a perfect world, he probably would do it. But he doesn't. Where the A guy, he can do it. And he does. Because he knows he can. And that guy gets picked. That's the bad boy that girls say they don't like, but they go for him every time. How many times have you heard girls talking about guys and I don't like him, he's boring? Boring. You don't like him because he's boring. There was I want to say YouTube. I'm not quite sure. YouTube, TikTok, one of the ones like that. But a guy and a girl broke up because the guy was too frugal. He didn't want to spend money the way his wife wanted to spend money. He wanted to save it for a rainy day. So if something happened, they was all right. They'd be okay because he provided for that. And the woman didn't like it and divorced him for it. And I got to tell you, that has to be the most stupid reason I've ever heard for anybody to break up. Ever. You left him because he didn't spend money the way you wanted him to spend money. He didn't spend money on you. Let's call it out. Let's call it what it is. And you can't make this stuff up. Another thing that ties into this whole thing is women crave uncertainty. Most women, I'll put that, most women do, because there are some women that don't. My wife doesn't like uncertainty. She wants to know what's going on so she can prepare for it. But for the most part, women crave uncertainty. Where is he? I don't know. What's he doing? I don't know. Is he cheating? I don't know. And he could even go as far as saying, and as long as I don't see it, I don't care. Out of sight, out of mind. Ignorance is bliss. They like it, they crave it, but they'll tell you, no, I don't. And this is one thing that people have said time and time again, and I got to agree with them on it. Women will say one thing and do something else. And it's mostly for political correctness. I just like a guy that has personality, that'll make me laugh. Oh, really? Okay, that's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear it. If an ugly guy came up to you now to talk to you, would you let him? No. Or better yet, oh, no, not really. Oh. And that is because the first interaction between a man and a woman, a male and a female, is visual. If you can't find them aesthetically pleasing, if they're not good looking, they're not pleasing to the eye, it's a wrap. Next. And that's the honest to goodness truth. You can say what you want, but you got to find him appealing to you in some fashion, and the first indication of that is optics. Does he look the part? Does he look like someone that if you woke up with him every morning for the rest of your life, you wouldn't be repulsed by? Guys know this. Which is why they try so hard to make up for their shortcomings in looks through other things. Maybe you get your hands, you got money. You drive a nice car. You live in a nice place. You got charm, you got swag. You know just what to say, what to do. All those things can help a man overcome that initial this initial fault. Just put it that way. Mick Jagger is ugly. Rod Stewart is ugly. Steven Tyler is ugly. Jay-Z is ugly. And there are others that are ugly. And they get all these women. Why? Because their other traits supersede the physical. If you can provide something to a woman that she doesn't normally have access to, you stand a good chance of at least talking to her. Let's talk about Jay-Z for a moment. Jay-Z is arguably one of the best rappers on the planet. And he's been in the game for a very long time. He married Beyonce, who is a very pretty woman. Not my cup of tea, but it is what it is. She is a pretty woman. You can't tell me that she looked at him and said, "Oh, I got to get with that." No. What she saw, he's a mogul. He could practically print his own money. The man's got game. The man's got loot. So she tends to overlook the fact that he's not a very handsome man. Because those other traits help her overlook it. And that's something else that women like to do that, I don't know, just it can drive you crazy if you let it. And that is, again, they will tell you something. I would never get with a broke boy. I would never get with an ugly man. I would never get with this. I would never get that. I would never get with a guy who isn't at least 6 feet tall. And they wouldn't. Right up to the time when they do. Why? It's like I said, because there are things that the man can bring to offset his weaknesses. And the first and greatest one will be appearance. He's pleasing to the eye. He looks good. But they do what they do. I also think that women like unpredictability, which also ties in with uncertainty. It is what it is. Women are biologically attracted to negative traits, which go against the desire for obtaining the best man they can. Now that should be self-explanatory. Women are hardwired to like things that are against it, that are contrary to their best interests. Example. Let's go to our dream world. You got a girl, and you have her fill out a questionnaire. What are the qualities you look for in a man? And she gives you chapter and verse on what she likes and she doesn't like. She doesn't like guys that are less than 6 feet tall. She doesn't like guys who aren't faithful. She doesn't like guys who are you get the general idea. And You write this stuff down. You say, okay, thank you. And you go about your business. Now, you know what she doesn't like. And also, she thinks she's cute, and you want to talk to her. So you present yourself in your best possible light. You're courteous, you're kind, you're compassionate. You're sincere. All that stuff like that. Reminds me of that song. I can never remember what the name of the group was to make the song, but you do all the right things at exactly the right time, but you mean nothing to her. You give her everything that she wants. She has said what you want, and you provided it for her. So you would think that you're in, but you're not. Because that one of the things that she said, she doesn't like someone who's not faithful. But she's been talking to this guy, and the guy is not sincere. The guy he's flirtatious. He's promiscuous. And she's attracted to it. She's attracted to the very negative traits that she says she doesn't like. You can't make this up. You cannot make it up. Women are also the victims of their own success. Their preferences often lead them to the very men who, due to their attractiveness to women, do not or cannot commit to just one woman that won't be faithful to them. That goes back to the F-boy phenomenon, or the bad boy. I can change him. I can change him. Let's go back to the dream world. There's a girl. We'll call her Sarah Jane. And Sarah Jane meets a man, and we'll call him Bill. Bill, aka Billy, is a bad boy. He's got a very high body count. Close to, if not at 100. He's been slinging that thing all over town. Left a trail of broken hearts. Doing what he's doing, and for the most part enjoying himself with it. Now, let's say he's had 100 women. Sarah Jane likes him. And her friend comes up to her and says, no, I don't know if you should go for that. He's had 100 girls. Ew. Now, she's saying to her friend, yeah, ew, I could never. But in the back of her mind thinking, if I can mold him, I can get him, and I can change him. I can make him into the guy that I want. Now, before we go any further with this scenario, he will be considered a high value man. And he'd be considered high value in the sense that he brings desirability to the table, at the very least. He looks good. He can talk the talk. He's got a nice car, got a nice house, and he got girls. Now, because he's considered a high-value man, whether someone tells him that or not, by his very nature, he's a Mustang. He's a stallion. And being a stallion or a Mustang, you're not going to tame him. Contrary to what Sarah Jane or anybody says, you're not going to change him. It's not going to happen. And that's what I mean when I say that they're the victims of their own success. You can get who you want. As I said before, you are the gatekeepers to sex. And sex is what every man wants it, whether he's straight or not. He wants it. It's just that homosexual guys want homosexual guys. But if you're straight, you want sex with a woman. And if you're gatekeepers to that, the woman decides who has access to her intimately. It's not right, it's not fair, it's not just, but it is what it is. Because of that, that's your success. You can get a guy to do just about anything you want if you promise him the good stuff. And 9 times out of 10, the guy will go along with it. Okay. It's like I said, every man has simped for the one. That one girl that you don't think you can live without. You would do anything, you would say anything, you would go anywhere, whatever it took. You do it. You were there. And because of that, your preference, you want the bad boy. You want the F-boy. You want Chiron, Chad, and Pookie. You want them. But they can have their pick of the litter. So why do they want you? Which brings me to the most important part of this conversation that I'm going to speak about. And we'll go into it deeper in another video. But as for right now, women conflate and confuse sexual attention with romantic attention. Everybody wants to smash. Everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you know. I don't care who you know. Everybody wants to smash. It is what it is. But not everybody wants to wife. I'll say that again. Everybody wants to smash, but not everybody wants to be a wife. And remember, we are the gatekeepers to relationships. Women have to prove to us that they are worthy of the title. They're worthy of the continued attention, time, and resources that a man provides. And that's the counterbalance to the whole gatekeepers to sex thing. That's the counterbalance. Because, okay, you may go through everything to lay her down. Pass every test that she throws at you. And then after you lay her down, you're ready for the next conquest. Let's see, who's next? Who can I get next? It is up to her to prove to you that she's valuable enough to keep around. In an ideal world, a guy would bang somebody and be off to the next one. That's a guy's nirvana. That's his nirvana. Did her, okay, do her, go ahead. Do her. Oh, this is just great. All these people. It is incumbent upon the woman. It is the woman's need to prove that she adds value to a guy's life that he wouldn't normally get. And that's how she can keep and retain his affections. That's how he can keep and retain the time, attention, and resources of the guy. And that comes to women say what is politically correct and then do the exact opposite. Now, that's something that's been a recurring theme in this podcast. It is worth repeating again and again if necessary. They say they don't want something, but their actions prove otherwise. You know about the one that got away. That one guy that you wish you could have kept. And in your heart of hearts, unless the situation has drastically changed, he could have you again if he wanted. That's where the on again, off again situationship comes up. Guy and girl get together, they have a good time. Something goes wrong, they break up. And she just can't get enough of him. But she'll tell you, oh, you don't want to do that. That's toxic. He's a misogynist. He's just that and the third. Really? Then why do you keep going back? If he is as bad as you say he is, why do you keep going back to him? Or if you really want to get somebody messed up, okay, if you don't want him, can I have him? They say things that they think will make them sound good. Do they believe it? Hell no. Not in the slightest. They don't believe that nonsense. But they say it. And why do they say it? Because they think it makes them sound mature. I'm telling you, if I wasn't married today, I don't think I would ever get married. Because just watching this and watching the yuck of today's dating, I couldn't do it. Sure, I'd get my rocks off when I could. But would I date with the intent to marry as I did when I was younger? No. Not at all. Because there's no reading them. There's no reading women. Just the fact that they're politically correct in their saying, in their speech, but for the streets and their actions, that right there, that's a deal breaker. I can't believe a word you say. So why even bother? I can't do it. And that is why good girls like bad boys. Because they're everything that they want. And let's also say in closing, let's make something abundantly clear. The good girl, bad boy dynamic only happens in their early dating life. From 18 to about 25, 26. After that time, when their dating window starts to close, they start to realize this ain't working. And it's not working because they can't attract the people that they could attract when they were younger. So they start thinking, well, maybe I'll go back to looking at Mr. Joe Blow. At least he's working. He'll provide for me. He'll protect me. And it'll be good until either something else comes along, something better comes along, or they realize I'm just not into it. But that is a story for another podcast, which brings us to the end of this one. As always, I want to thank each and every person who has come and watched this. And in return, I have a favor to ask you. I want you to like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share the content. Each and every action that you just heard about is free. Our biggest point of contention is we don't know, so we can't grow. Or to put it more succinctly, we can't grow if we don't know. If we don't know what you like, if we don't know what you want, if we don't know what you need, if we don't know what tickles your fancy, we won't get any better because we're thinking we're doing the right thing. So, please, you say you love us, you say you support us, show it. And with that, I bid you a fond farewell. This is Obie Jay saying peace. Peace out. Be good to one another. Do better. And have a good night. Bye-bye.